At St. Cloud State University, athletics are more than just games. They're an essential part of the Husky experience. From D1 hockey games to championship-winning wrestling, volleyball, and more, there's Husky pride in every corner of campus. Whether you're on the field, in the stands, or cheering from the student section, you're a part of something big. And the best part? SCSU is close to home, affordable, and packed with community that's got your back, in class and on the court. Come see what it means to be a Husky. Schedule your campus tour today at St. Cloud State University, the home of the Huskies.
What you are about to hear will blow your mind and give you six-pack abs without even exercising.
Pull up a bar stool and relax.
Hey, who wants to have some fun?
You've made it to Happy Hour with John Gaskins.
Oh, no. Not again.
Get ready for entertaining local and regional sports talk that will change your life, or not.
And by the way, when you're telling these little stories, here's a good idea. Have a point. It makes it so much more interesting for the listener.
Here's your host, John Gaskins.
Here's Johnny. Hello!
Ah! I'm back, baby! I'm back!
You know what, Trent? Guess what?
The boys are back in town.
The boys are back in town. The boys are... What's the band? Name the band.
The band is...
Come on. You can do it. It's a 70s band.
Well, hang on.
Here's a clue.
Yeah, no,
Are you familiar with Deadwood? The streets of Deadwood, South Dakota? There you go.
Yeah.
Did Deadwood give it away?
Yeah. No.
Oh,
It didn't. I just was like, it's The Voice. I had to think of my other Thin Lizzy songs.
Because there's a sports gambling place. I think they call those casinos in Deadwood called Tin Lizzy.
Really?
So I have never cared to Google or go up to anybody when I've been to Tin Lizzy twice in my life to ask, hey, where did you come up with a name? That's pretty cool. But,
I'm
going to guess.
I'm
Big Thin Lizzy fan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
That was the Canaries intro song when they were introducing the players out of the dugout, the starting lineups for years. And a couple people out there were really bummed when finally, after 20 years, they decided to go a new route and,
what is it now?
To play something that came after 1977.
And what is it now?
Da da na 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 da na 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 na.
Oh, my
God.
That hype song?
Yeah.
That, 90s jock jam song?
Is that 90s?
It's something like that.
Well,
yeah.
That's how much more recent it is than Thin Lizzy. Anyway, Canaries, by the way, back in town. The boys will be back in town.
The boys will be back in town. It's been a minute, too.
A week from today, Thursday, July 17th, they'll have 10 games in a row in the stretch of 11 days, which will make up for the seemingly month that they've been out of town. They've won. They had won 5 in a row until yesterday. By the way, it's Thirsty Thursday. John Gaskins with Trent Singer at Craven.
Sure.
I've got a watermelon carbless. You're drinking water out of your Total Drag
I got
thermos.
My Hydro Flask. Got Tom Waits on here.
Yeah.
Spectrum Record Lounge, too.
Go.
Kate Gerardo. We got a Brett the Hitman Hart.
Yeah.
We got some Dead Guys on a Mountain.
Yeah, that'd be Mount Rushmore.
And I believe that's...
Keith Richards?
I can't remember who
It's
it
an
is.
old guy in a cowboy hat.
I had a spot for a
cigarette.
sticker and had an extra one. I think it's one of the old Francis Ford Coppola. I think is who it is. I don't know.
Hey, our guest today is Nate Melchow, future South Dakota High School basketball and South Dakota Sports Hall of Famer. Accomplished a lot. 3 state titles by the age of 37, and then he gave it all up to be the athletic director at Sioux Falls, Washington. He was the girls' coach there. Notable battle with cancer. We spend a lot of time on that. One of the nicest guys you'll ever meet, but he packed a lot into basically 25 years of playing and coaching basketball before a larger role and 4 small kids, and just a really good dude, well-known dude around town. And so Nate Melchow's story is the guest segment for today.
Forgive me for asking, where did he play?
He played at Aberdeen Central.
Okay.
He's an Aberdeen kid. His dad was a state champion for Aberdeen Central, and a South Dakota High School Sports Hall of Famer.
Very cool.
As a player. So he had 3 brothers. He played with Josh Heupel in high school at Aberdeen Central.
How about that?
For basketball.
Another Aberdeen guy?
Another Aberdeen guy. He's got a story about getting schooled by the 97 Golden Gopher Final Four team at some camp in the Twin Cities one summer when he was in college. 6'8" guy, he got taken to the woodshed by some of the Gophers.
That's got to be a fun interview.
Final Four banner is still buried somewhere in the bowels of Williams Arena because they had a tutor do some of the tests for them. Oh, the shame! Standard practice now in college athletics. Well, today it's July 9th, and as Matt Zimmer said a couple days ago, we're turning the page to football. I mean,
Are we already?
American football. I mean, everybody else is. I look on the TVs here.
It's still baseball season.
Well, yes, it is still baseball
We haven't even
season.
got to the All-Star break.
Well, the Twins and the Canaries are almost forcing us to talk a little baseball on this show in the summer. We'll get to that as well. They're both on fire right now. They both look like contenders in their divisions. I think the Canaries more than the Twins, given the track record of the last couple of years under Mike Meyer. But, yeah, I mean, you look at the TVs here in a place like Craven, which is where we're doing the show from today, the World Cup party home of Sioux Falls. Wah, wah. But you see the Big 12 football media days, and everybody else is going to be taking their turns in the next few days. Mountain West with North Dakota State next week. They'll be the darlings, the belles of the ball in Vegas.
Yep.
And we're right here in Sioux Falls. We're going to have Missouri Valley Football Conference Media Day, and
Second year in a row. 2 years.
Yeah, that's in person.
In person,
It was a remote thing. Now it's in person. It'll be in the Pentagon, and we're going to have it. We're going to cover the bejesus out of it. Midwest Sports Plus, the app, will have it live. We're going to interview everybody from every team that's there all day long. That's just what we're going to do. We're going to carry it live on the Midwest Sports Plus app. You can find it at SiouxFallsLive.com. And you can find it on KSFL TV, over-the-air television, station that's always been there. Maybe you didn't know it. Channel 36. Over the air, channel 616 Midco, starting at 9 a.m. I don't know how long it's going to go. I think 3 p.m., but all day long.
I'll be out of town.
Thank you. You will not be there, but it will be the Missouri Valley Football Conference Media Day for us, and be logging a lot of chats for happy hour that will help make up for the fact that sadly you will not be here, at least next Thursday.
There you go.
Yeah.
I mean, I think people appreciate that content a little bit more anyways.
Well, let's get ready for it.
Yeah.
By asking the questions, even though you're not going to be there. I know you love your Missouri Valley Football Conference football. Of course, we'll lock in here on the Jacks and then the Yotes, being that we're based in South Dakota. What are you most looking forward to hearing about we'll start with the Jacks, who are probably going to be the favorites to win. Matt Zimmer and I covered it on Tuesday. North Dakota State, no longer in the league. That's still the biggest storyline at Missouri Valley Football Conference Media Day and all year long. Who isn't there? It's going to be impossible not to notice. It's going to make it a clearer path for everybody else to win a title, both in the league and the national title. But somebody's got to win it. The Jacks will probably be favored. They're going to step up to the microphone. What would you like to hear from Dan Jackson or Chase Mason?
Well, it's funny you say that, too, because that is like the overarching storyline is that there is no more North Dakota State. And I think for the Jacks' perspective, the question now is, with the target on your back, what is that, how do you handle that? I don't know if it changes anything, and I'm sure a lot of them will say that it's kind of business as usual and we're focusing on ourselves sort of thing. But there is some of that there, right? And I think it's impossible to avoid it. They're going to be the preseason favorites. I don't think there's much question. I think if there's, I'd be really surprised if it's anybody else. I really will. Youngstown State, maybe?
I mean, Youngstown State certainly has the returning best player in the nation. At least that's what the Walter Payton Award is supposed to award. Yeah. And Bo Brungard is returning while Cole Payton from NDSU isn't, and even if he were, he wouldn't be in the league.
Yep.
So they've got the best player, and it's at the most important position, so they should be a major factor. And those two teams are going to play early in the season. And so, that game could swing the breadth of the conference standings.
Yeah.
As Matt said on Tuesday, it feels like SDSU is the predominant number one. Yes, because of Chase Mason. Yes, because they were 7-0 and number 2 in the country and beat the eventual national champion Montana State in their house. And that all came crashing down once Chase Mason got hurt. And once Chase Mason came back, they were able to score a huge win with Jack Henry over UND just to get in the playoffs. And then Mason and the Jacks were gangbusters in the snow against New Hampshire. Made it a 2.5-quarter game in Montana against the Grizz. But that's the feeling, is that Chase Van Tol was hurt down the stretch of that season. He was becoming their best defensive player. They're loaded at wide receiver. It could be an aerial assault with Eric Eidsness calling the plays. There's just maybe we're in our bubble, and it's proximity bias. I don't know.
I think one of the big questions too is your depth was so tested last season.
Yep.
I think, how did you go about in the offseason addressing that? You know what I mean, and getting answers to that, because that was truly what. When they ran into trouble, it was because of just injuries.
Yeah.
Really. I mean, they were so shorthanded. They were without their quarterback, and putting in some guys who were pretty unproven at that position who managed. I think they did pretty well considering the circumstances. They dropped some games they shouldn't have, absolutely. But they kind of figured things out and figured out the offense with a kind of a different identity because they had to change things up without Chase Mason. And so I'm curious to know about what the depth looks like. Have there been strides made, in that regard? Because they certainly can't have that again if they're going to be the favorites going into this season. If they want to continue and uphold that, they're going to need to be a team that can weather some of those injuries.
I think the answer you're going to get is, the depth's awesome.
Right.
We developed a lot of it when the Jacks were at their very best.
And I think they did, too. I think that experience allowed them to grow.
Yeah.
And those are other questions I have, too. How much, were those low moments from last season, from that 25 season, how much did those help build this team into what they are now?
When the Jacks were at their very best, 5 teams in a row, spring of 21, fall of 21, 22, 23, 24. You didn't just have Mark Gronowski as your quarterback most of that time. Chris Oladok in the Gronowski injury season. You had incredible depth on the offensive and defensive lines. It starts up front, and especially on that defense when you can just rotate guys in and out while the other team's offensive line. And I think that is why South Dakota State, even though quote-unquote down year last year with 9-5, is probably the favorite, not just from us, from everybody else who votes in the Valley, is because they were easily, far and away, the best or second best team in that league for several years, and so generally have the most or second most talent with North Dakota State, and you just kind of pencil that in again, and they take their football seriously. There's investment in the product, which there isn't as much at Youngstown State, Illinois State, even UND, and certainly Northern Iowa, Murray State, Indiana State, Southern Illinois. It's like because they should.
Yeah.
That's why. But it's about this year, right? And so the depth thing for sure. I guess what I want to know is, how do you prevent the collapse from last year? Because it was mainly injury driven, starting with Chase Mason, and there was Chase Van Tol, and there were a couple of others that were very important pieces. But every team gets a little bit hurt.
Yeah.
It gets a lot worse when your quarterback is hurt, and then you have there just wasn't enough behind Chase Mason. Jack Henry developed by his fourth game, or his fifth game, which was against UND. But it was really tough sailing, and they had to do a lot of things to kind of conceal and hide and work around an inexperienced, not ready quarterback.
Yep.
So the number 2 quarterback battle should be of higher interest in Brookings this year, because Chase Mason has an injury history.
Yep.
If he's healthy and full throttle, can't wait to see what that freak produces this year.
Yeah.
But he's been injured a lot in his career, and so starting at quarterback, but certainly across the board, not just personnel-wise, what do you do if you're Dan Jackson and all of a sudden either you have a blowout loss or you have a key injury or two, and things look like because they fell apart.
Yeah.
How do you prevent falling apart from happening? Are there measures he took between year 1 and year 2 as a head coach where he said he learned a lot? What are those things?
Well, and that goes into depth too, right? And him being in his second year, hopefully establish a little bit more of that depth just through recruiting this offseason. A couple position groups I'm really interested in learning more about. That wide receiver group is really fascinating. I think there's a lot of potential there. The ceiling's really high. Curious to know kind of where guys stand, right? Who's going to be filling in those spots? And then on the other side of the ball, one of the weaker position groups from last season was the defensive backs. And, has that been addressed? Have you gone out and feel like you found the guys that are going to be able to fill those spots? Of course, they're all going to say yes.
Yeah.
But at the same time, what are you seeing that they're doing better, right?
Yeah.
Like expounding on that a little bit is kind of where I want to see. So those are two main position groups that I'm really curious about. I love their receiving core on paper. I mean, I really do. I'm just really curious. A lot of these guys don't have a lot of experience too, and so that's going to be a big question mark. But I know they're hungry.
Well, Lofton Ogroski, that's another player. I mean,
yes.
he was, he really was. Him and Chase were two of the biggest reasons they were able to beat Montana State, and his injury came earlier than Chase's, but the offense was already starting to sputter a little bit.
Yep.
Certainly lacked big play explosion once Lofton Ogroski was hurt. Well, he's going to be back as well. And then we're very curious at running back.
Yep.
You had Lofbridge last year, certainly what could have been with Nate White. Lofbridge just wasn't a home run hitter, and they would like to have one to diversify the offense, establish the run game better, to set up a more explosive downfield passing game. And you're right. This is a fun topic as we get ready for the media day and just get excited talking football. But the question was, what are we looking to hear from them? But our answers are more of just like, what are we looking forward to seeing? Because, again, we're excited to talk football with these guys. Everybody's undefeated. They're going to be extremely positive.
Indiana State's going to be excited about the season.
Yes, they will.
Murray State's going to be ready to go.
This is the year they make the leap, right? So I don't know if I have to play Dan Patrick. I saw Dan Patrick today with Kevin O'Connell, the Vikings.
I couldn't
head
find
coach.
this. You told me about it. I couldn't find it.
I don't know. Well, that was a couple hours ago.
Yeah.
By early afternoon, it might be up on YouTube. But find it wherever you can, especially if you're a Minnesota Vikings fan, because he's in the same situation, right? Training camp's about to start, but they're at this celebrity golf tournament in Lake Tahoe, and everybody's kicked back and relaxed. You got the mountains in Lake Tahoe behind you, and but Dan Patrick, just did the basic question about, well, where do things stand? How are you approaching Kyler Murray and J.J. McCarthy? Kevin O'Connell gave the whole, it's an open competition, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And then Dan just said, there were only about 5 cliches in 2 minutes there. About 5. Paulie, how many cliches? Paulie Paps, the producer's like, no, there were 5. And then he pointed, and then Kevin O'Connell, good guy, took it well. And he said, well, Dan, how would you answer that question? And so Dan Patrick started with a couple cliches and then said, but yeah, by the time Kyler Murray hits the field, he's going to be rocking and rolling. And this offense indoors with Justin Jefferson, we are probably going to make it to the Super Bowl with Kyler Murray.
I'm sorry
this
to the
year.
2 J.J. McCarthy fans listening right now.
Yeah.
Kyler Murray will be the Week 1 starter.
And so Dan Patrick and Kevin O'Connell's just shaking his head and puts his arms up in the air, and so that was that was pretty good. But yeah, we don't.
You're gonna get that though. I mean,
yeah,
it's how it is this time of the season.
It's our job. It's our job
100%.
to ask good questions, but also to maybe find a golden nugget underneath the heap of cliches that we're going to get.
Yep.
So
they all
we'll
keep
see.
it pretty tight to the vest too. Right?
Yeah,
you're not gonna reveal too much right now.
No, but everybody's pretty excited.
Of course.
From the Coyotes.
Yes.
What do you want to hear from Matt? I mean, this is another new head coach, third coach in 3 years. I really enjoyed. I actually listened back to my chat with Matt Vitzthum on April 15th, just when they had started spring football, and he had been operating as the new head coach for about 3 months. Really likable guy. Was the co-offensive coordinator, but the one that didn't call the plays last year, and got kind of a view more side alongside Travis Johansson, not knowing that Travis was going to leave to become Rutgers' defensive coordinator. He would be the next head coach. But he said kind of not calling the plays gave him a chance to observe things and learn some things from Travis. And anyway, he's the head coach now. And what are you most interested in hearing from him and whoever the Yotes bring?
Well, it's I want to go back to going into last season, right? New coach, and they're quarterfinalists.
Yeah.
To be able to pull off the season they did, I think was impressive in and of itself, especially the way they started. We've talked plenty about that last year, at that Lamar game. And then kind of after that, they really seemed to kind of jumpstart things offensively, kind of figure out their identity. LJ Phillips was obviously the cog on that team and really, really leaned on a lot. But here we are again. They're kind of back at square one, right, with a new coach. Travis Johansson brought this up multiple times during that postseason run. At the end of that postseason run, they were the only team in FCS to get to the quarterfinals. I believe it's 3 years in a row, correct? Mm-hmm. 3 or 4. And that's impressive. Now, can you do that again, right? Like this is not going to be easy with what they're losing. It all starts at the quarterback position. I mean, that's the big question here. What's that look like right now? Because you're losing a guy who was there for he was USD football for the last few years. Kind of the identity of that team.
Absolutely.
The heartbeat of that team. And so I think that's your big question going into this season. How does Charles Pierre look, right? Because here we have a really good running back coming off injury too. And I know they've got to be excited about what they have with him.
Yeah, I actually went back and listened to the chat we had with Charles Pierre because we posted it on Monday in our special 4th of July extended weekend All-America football show with 2 All-Americans, Quentin Christensen from the Jacks, Charles Pierre from the Yotes. This is a guy whose dad played and set the rushing record at Florida Atlantic in the Miami area. And so great pedigree. Just grew up in Orlando, just a dude. Guy who was a natural-born running back talent, motivated, driven, trained well but not overtrained, overburdened by his father, lifted a lot of weights. But his dad made him wait until high school for him to start lifting weights, and then he wanted to outlift his dad. And so tore his ACL, and that running back, that's a spot where you're most likely to get hurt and most likely to have a short career. And now he's gone through it, and he watched LJ Phillips just rack it up last year. I hope he's coming. At this moment on Thursday, I don't know if he will, but I really want to hear from him. Yeah. He's who I am most interested in hearing from, simply because he was the Missouri Valley rushing champion 2 years ago when they made the semifinals. He was primed for a huge season, and he had that all taken away from him in Game 2. And now, most of these guys just talk about how driven they were throughout the whole rehab process. But in the spring, when I listened back to that Fitztham interview here on Happy Hour, it was very much, Charles, isn't quite sure what he's ready to do yet when it comes to planting the foot and working around that injury. He wasn't 100% recovered, but he was practicing. So now what? The other thing I find fascinating, and sure, I want to hear about it, is Keandre Logan Jones. He'll be like he was supposed to be last year. He was hurt some of last year. He's more of the speed guy, more of the running back you can use out of the backfield, throwing him little short passes and screens.
The home run threat.
And so you got thunder and lightning there. Yep. And, I can't, again, they're just going to tell us that they're feeling great and they're ready for a great season.
But it all goes back to getting them the ball, right? Yeah. And so I'm really curious about the quarterback position. That's a huge one. I will say this. The more and more I look and have seen, just through some stuff online about what they've done recruiting-wise this offseason, and their 27 class, it's really solid. Yeah. Got a few South Dakota guys on there, a lot of Iowa guys. I think they got the right guy leading the ship. We're going to learn a lot more when this season gets going about Matt Fitztham, but I've seen him ranked really low in some of these Missouri Valley preseason polls that people have been putting out. I saw him
Zimmer had him at 6.
I saw him at 6. I don't know. I mean, I know it's a really tough conference. Don't get me wrong, but I think the Yotes can overperform a 5th or 6th spot easily. And I think they will. I think they're going to be a playoff team, and I'm really, really curious to see how they do. There is a lot of questions. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. But with Charles Pierre, they're going to be an identity. That's going to be their identity, is running the ball, and it obviously, you look at their run game coordination last year. I mean, they were, LJ Phillips. It was like no secret what they wanted to do, and yet here he was getting 200 yards plus every other game, right? finished the season with almost 2,000, I mean,
yes,
I think they can do it again.
They can, but interesting thing that I think a lot of people forget, you were out there in Montana for their last game in the quarterfinals, but Vitztham just said that L.J. Phillips was totally maxed out and spent.
Yeah.
The wheels came off as far as his.
Well, he fumbled that ball early on, which was very.
Yeah.
I mean, we hadn't seen that in a while.
I can't remember the term he used, but he said basically he had maxed out partly because of the lack of depth at running back, because of Pierre and Keandre
100%.
Logan Jones, their top two running backs coming into the year, were hurt. So so you need depth at that spot.
Wide receiver, big question there with Lorenzo out. I mean,
Yeah.
Where'd he end up going?
They're excited about Tyson Bose.
Louisville? Where'd he go?
He went to Cincinnati.
Cincinnati. That's
Lorenzo Fenner's at Cincinnati. By the way, on the defensive side, which we haven't brought up, which was really, I mean, all respect, I mean, Aiden Bauman had some big moments last year.
I'll go back to that Mercer game.
the defense was the bread and butter of the Yotes. They kept the score low.
Yeah.
They lost some close, low-scoring games early.
Yep.
Then the offense picked it up, but the defense held down the fort all year. Chris Dixon, an interior tackle who was an all-conference performer, didn't get notoriety because he didn't make a lot of tackles. He's in the middle of the defense. He's trying to stuff things up or open things up for the linebackers. He's back. He could have gone somewhere, I'm guessing. He didn't. On the back end, you have Roman Tillman.
Yep.
He went to Boise State, who they play. How exciting is that?
That's their week 1 game?
It's week 2 or week 3.
Yeah.
They go out to Boise.
Money game.
For sure. And so key returning defensive players, key losses, but how have things changed in the offseason, if at all? Again, I encourage people to listen to Happy Hour with Matt Vitztham from April 15th. And you can listen to that, by the way. You can watch it at SiouxFallsLive.com.
MidwestSportsPlus.com.
MidwestSportsPlus.com or the Midwest Sports Plus app. Now, the secret to finding it quickly is to go to the old Google machine, Google search, and Matt Vitztham, Happy Hour, Gaskins, something like that. It'll pop right up. You go into the article.
Johnny G, I think it picks up pretty well in the algorithms.
Okay, I don't think so. You go right in the article. There's the video of the interview, and then there's that little icon in the bottom right-hand screen where if you're on your phone, you can tap that, and it can probably connect your phone to your television so you can watch the interview on your television. Or you can go all the way back and listen to it wherever you find your podcasts. But we are a television product at SiouxFallsLive.com.
Right. Shout out Cordell.
And Missouri Valley Football Conference Media Day will be literally a television product on KSFL TV along with SiouxFallsLive.com. So we've done the Jacks, we've done the Yotes, who, by the way, one thing I do want to hear from them. They finished sole second place in the Mo Valley last year. And we talk about how, they made the quarterfinals, and they came back after a lousy 2-3 start. They were the second best team, and North Dakota State's gone, which means they were the best team that wasn't North Dakota State last year by a game. And Illinois State ended up being the team that went the furthest. They were 5-3 in the league. They lost 4 overall until they got beat by Montana State in the national championship game. But I think maybe, again, we can ask the question. The answer might not be the right answer or what we're looking for. But if we know we don't know when the poll, I think the poll's coming out like that morning. And we expect the Jacks to be number 1. If they are, how much does that motivate the Yotes, who went around further than the Jacks last year and finished sole second? Because and by the way, if they are picked 5th or 6th, like where Zim has them, again, how motivated will they be? They always feel, and they hate us saying this. This caused a big Twitter war back in February, but they always feel like little brother, even if they're performing, and in some years beating little brother. They've won 3 of the last 6 games, and yet it's like the Brady Bunch, Marcia. It's Jacks.
They'll certainly feel slighted if they're ranked that low. But again, I think your job though is to go out and focus internally, and that's totally where everything needs to be for both of these teams right now, because nothing is guaranteed, especially with North Dakota State out. Like, the door is open for everyone in this conference, and that includes you, Murray State. Okay, you can do it. Okay, probably not this year, but it is interesting though, right? I mean, that is the overarching storyline, and I think for good reason. This has been North Dakota State's home, and they have dominated it for years. I know there was a couple years there where the Jacks had some unbelievable teams that were certainly, national champions. But this is the storyline. Who's going to take that mantle now? I know I lean South Dakota State right now with the pedigree and the championship resume. But
the returning quarterback, and he's got a better team around him than Bo Brungard has at Youngstown.
For sure, I agree.
But I mean, those two waged down to the wire. That was 35-30 Jacks in Youngstown last year.
I still go back to remember that New Hampshire coach after the South Dakota State game? I think he said he's a first or second round talent.
Yeah.
I thought it was the most ridiculous thing to say at the time, and the more and more I kind of think about it with him coming back another year, I'm like, dude, with all the tools that Chase Mason has, he truly could be that if he can play up to that potential.
The tools and the measurables. I mean, he's 6'3", like 250, all muscle, rocket freak arm. I mean, literally, his nickname was Wild Thing when he pitched.
Yeah.
Like Rick Vaughn, because of the velocity he could put on it. Now, sometimes he misses it. But that's what the pro teams drool over. It's not how many games he's played. It's not his stats. If his stats are glossy, even better. They drool over the physical.
He played 9-man football in high school.
Well, sure, but if he was 5'9", $165, that doesn't matter. So anyway, I mean that's to me the most fascinating thing about this upcoming season.
100%
is Chase Mason and what will all that look like?
Yeah.
But the Yotes, by the way, how I see the Mo Valley is you got 6 teams I think going after a title.
Yeah.
And 3 teams who are at just the bottom of the heap and literally the bottom feeders. That's what it has been the last 2 or 3 years. Northern Iowa, Murray State, and Indiana State just have been. They can't get it going. They are at places where they don't have the resources. Northern Iowa used to have the football tradition, but it just kind of faded away once North Dakota State and then the Jacks took over in this league.
Yep.
The other 6, maybe SDSU, they're not a strong favorite, they're a favorite. But Matt said 2 to 6 you can pick them. They can interchange between Youngstown, Illinois State, Southern Illinois, UND,
SIU.
And there you go. So, with that in mind, our third and final topic for our little pre-MVFC Media Day show is from anybody else besides the Jacks or the Yotes. We open up the floor to the rest of the teams in the league. Who or what do you want to hear about the most? What intrigues you?
Well, I mean, I think a lot of it outside of the teams here regionally is, can you be a playoff team? I mean, I think that is truly just the bar. Can you make the playoffs? And in this conference, right, if you win enough games, you're going to do that. And so I think it's, where do you stack up in the conference right now with North Dakota State out of this? Where do you stack up in this conference now? I look at some teams that could be sleepers. Southern Illinois, you just mentioned it. They could be a sleeper. They played some teams super tough. Really good teams, super tough. They give everybody a run for their money.
And
every
the
year.
Yotes on the ropes there in that last game.
They've had a coach that's been there for a while. They've got some consistency. Their facilities are outstanding.
Southern Illinois?
Yeah. I mean,
really?
I think their football field is tremendous.
Okay.
I covered plenty of games there when SEMO played against them. Maybe it was
Southeast Missouri.
I'll tell you what. I think maybe the bar, Southeast Missouri set the bar so low in facilities that maybe when I went to Carbondale, I was always so kind of blown away by it. But again, no, they've been in this mix for a while.
Yeah.
And they're a team that I could see maybe making a push to try to get into that upper echelon and be a competitor every season, and maybe a top 3 team in the Mo Valley. And I look at teams like that. I look at what is Illinois State. The big question is how do you
national runner-up?
Yep.
Was that just a great run like Youngstown State with Bo Pelini 10 years ago?
Not just national runner-up too, John. They were right in the mix in that game. That was an outstanding.
They should have won.
They probably should have won the game.
Yeah, they blew it. A series of catastrophic, if not buffoonery.
But a lot of turnover, right? And so how do you do that again? How do you get back there?
Coach is back.
Yeah, big questions for them too.
It feels. We don't know until we see it. That's why it's July. It feels like that was just a great run, like Bo Pelini had with Youngstown State. They're going to gravitate back to the middle of the league, a 15th to 25th ranked team in the country. Mm-hmm. That's the feel. Youngstown State, I mean, they should be right up there because they have Bo Brungard. That's my intrigue, is what do they have around him? Do they have enough of a team around him to be a serious contender for this league and for the national title? Because if you have a quarterback that good, you should be better than 3, 4, 5 losses.
Yeah. I think one thing SDSU and USD have proven is that defense matters a lot in this conference, especially USD last season. You already mentioned it. They were an outstanding defensive team last year. They played that mind-numbing, brand of basketball or football that I think that you as a Nebraska Cornhuskers fan can really appreciate. It's almost like that Iowa Hawkeye kind of style of football. Yeah, it was, right? Run heavy and play action.
Travis Johansson I think, was a Minnesota kid, but he spent a lot of time coaching in Iowa. And Vitztham is an Iowan who grew up a Hawkeye fan and named his son after Hayden Fry.
How about that?
Do
you appreciate that?
Go back. Well, it is what it is.
Where's he from in Iowa?
People in Iowa love their football. Don't put me on the spot. I think it was Altoona, but I'm not sure. But I could be getting him confused with somebody else.
Okay.
We'll find that for you by the end of the show. Yeah, but no, you're right. The ball control, field position, don't turn it over, keep the score low, punt on 4th down almost all the time, make the other team blink.
Kind of a pro-style approach.
Ask Vitztham about that. Are you going to be a little more gamble, a little bit more? You got an offensive head coach now.
Yeah.
Offensive head coach. Is he going to gamble more? And he said, well, I'm not going to be Dan Campbell, okay?
Right.
It's going to matter the situation, the trends of the game.
Yep.
Are we winning or losing the line of scrimmage? The where it is on the field. But he hinted that he might be a little bit more aggressive on offense.
I'll say this. At the NFL level, and that's an interesting thing you bring up, that's why it matters so much more at the NFL level than it does at the college level, because that gambling, like the margin there is so tight. You have guys at every position, right?
Yeah.
These are all guys that are playing professional football for a reason.
Yeah.
At the college level, you're playing to your identity a lot more. So you're not taking as many chances if that's not who you are, right? So
conceivably,
I think with what Matt Vitztham brings to the table. He seems more of like you mentioned, he didn't really call plays, more of like a delegator at that head coach spot. So I think they play to their identity, and that would suit them the best if they did.
Quarterback matters so much. And they have 3 different guys as far as their styles, their skill sets.
That's interesting.
Which is a great thing to choose from, but who you choose might dictate how you play.
Yep.
And then how he performs early will dictate how much of more of aggressive of an offense you're going to be, or because you have a young first-time quarterback. Now, then you're going to be more conservative.
Yep.
But they were conservative with Aiden freaking Bauman.
Mm-hmm.
So just to set Aiden up to make the big plays late in the game.
Oh yeah.
But they have Jackson Proctor, they have Nevin Cimarescali. They have Austin Majewski. That's how it's Modrzeewski. I should have.
That's got to be like
I should have quizzed you
or something.
It's Majewski. That's what Vitztham told me.
Majewski.
Majewski is how he. Yeah.
How much time does he spend out on?
I'm kind of rooting for him to be the quarterback. Just so I can say that all the time. Majewski.
What, is he a freshman though?
Who's Jetski? Majewski. Thank you, Cordell. And one of these
guys.
guys.
Get the student section going on that one. Who's Jetski?
Yeah. And the thing is, one of these guys is a transfer who has the Ivy League experience. Okay, I would give the advantage to that guy. You bring in those guys because you feel like you need that. You don't want to throw a rookie in there.
Smart,
kind of like Kyler Murray instead of J.J. McCarthy, right? But again, if you want a quarterback that has some crazy athleticism, they've got that in the stable as well now that can run. So anyway, we'll find more about what he has to say on Media Day. Looking forward to it.
I'm going to need you to ask a question so that you can say Majewski.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, so, okay. Well, let's workshop that right now. What's that question?
I just want to know how Majewski is doing.
There you go.
Coach, I just want to know
how's my jet ski doing?
Yeah. How's my jet ski doing? How's he been looking this offseason? How's my jet ski been running? How are the wheels?
Should that be the first?
Wheels
should
on
that
my
be
jet
the
ski?
First question? Going to really shake things up instead of, "Hey, Matt, how you doing? It's good. How's your spring been? Are you guys
how's
ready?
My jet ski?
You guys ready to go? Yeah. Just how's my jet ski? I'll think. I've got a few days to think about that
my
one.
jet ski.
As you mentioned, it is still baseball season. And I tell you what, I mean, the Canaries are the Canaries. They're the hometown team. They've gone to the playoffs 3 straight years. They've won 5 games in a row. They were looking pretty bad there at the end of their last homestand. They get on the road and they get hot, and so they're near the halfway point and the All-Star break of their season. They have their All-Star break next week, just like Major League does.
How about that play by Mike Hart?
And
that was
okay. Thank you for mentioning that.
Were you playing it?
Cordell,
oh man,
play of the year.
It's
I
great.
mean, I haven't seen. Not that I'm watching web gems every night like I did.
Talk about hustle, man.
But the play to beat Sioux City, and I think it was either the second or third win over Sioux City over the weekend.
That was pretty sweet.
Yeah, I mean, he makes ground ball pretty sharply hit. He stops it right behind the bag, dives for the bag, gets the runner out, and then zings just a laser to home plate.
They're due for like one of those every season. That's what gets me excited for Canaries baseball when it kind of gets going.
Yeah.
Because I remember like the Jordan Barth diving catch at shortstop.
Yeah.
Obviously, the Jabari Henry home run to break the no-hitter bid last
the
season.
only hit of the night, a walk-off home run.
It's just the coolest game-ending stuff sometimes. And
Yeah.
sometimes you miss it if you're not there
Yes.
at the birdcage, so it's totally worth
Well,
going out
he's
for that.
Jabari's still hurt. I think he might be back after the All-Star break, but Mike Hart's kind of your leader
He's been
and
killing, though.
your ticket now. He's one of the best players in the league.
Ray Walt, I mean, they had 4 home runs 2 nights ago. 18-2 win.
I mean, Ray Walt again. Josh Ray Walt from USF, a 6'7", 250,
mash, man.
just a tank.
I think if they could just get the pitching,
Yeah.
and this is what I've been saying about the Padres for
Yeah.
months now. If you
Now
can
it's
just
the
get
Twins.
enough out of the pitching,
yeah.
this offense can carry,
Yeah.
man.
Yes.
They can hit against anybody. I mean, there truly isn't anything they can't hit.
I kind of trust, Matt Zimmer's of the thought of that, their chance to win it all was last year. They were 3 outs away. They didn't get it done. Then they lost the next night, and they're like, that was it.
No shot, man. Not in the American Association. Come on.
Thank you. There's not a lot of pitching in the American Association. It's very up for grabs, and I trust Mike Meyer. It's the last 3 years. That's how you get 5 or 10 games above 500 every year. That's how you win the most games in the league. The 3 years prior to this one, the Canaries won more playoffs and regular season combined than anybody in the league. Is because there's always going to be something that we just saw, a 5-game winning streak. Last year they had a 10-game winning streak.
Yep.
And maybe they have another skid, they dip, but things are perking up for them. They are I've got chicken scratch all over my sheet here, so I have to wear it. 25-23, second in the West. That's a league where it's the top 4 teams in each division make the playoffs. No, Kansas City Monarchs are back as the New York, the old New York Yankees of this league. They're 2.5 back of KC in the American Association West. The Twins, though, they've given us reason to pay attention. Maybe some people are like, come on. They're a game under 500. They're in the crappiest division.
What are the chances, John? What are the chances they make the playoffs? Give it to me.
I've got it. For one, they have a better chance of winning the division than getting the wild card. According to MLB Fangraphs, 26% chance to win the division, only a 16% chance to reach the wild card. That's probably because you're looking up at teams like the Yankees, and they're further back. They're only 2 games. Right now, actually, they're a half game back of the last wild card spot, and they're a game back of Cleveland in the division for second place. They're just 2 games back of the White Sox for first place.
They just swept the Yankees. I believe a call-up just hit a walk-off for them last night. Rodin.
Well, they've now won 4 in a row. And you're right. That was Rodin's, I think, second Major League game, first of this year. So they've kind of come out of nowhere. They're down 5-2 as we talk. So maybe, they were down 5-3 to the Indians last night in the 7th, and the Indians did the pull.
It was Guardians.
Guardians. Sorry. How long has it been? 5 years?
Can we bleep that?
No, it's okay. They're still the Indians to me. I'm sorry.
Mark it.
It would be funny. That would make for better content if you bleeped it. Cleveland. Cleveland pulled a Twins last night. They walked the bases loaded twice. Their bullpen blew it, and then Rodin got the game-winning hit. Anyway, even if they lose today, they're still going to be maybe a couple games out of first, a game or game and a half back of the wild card. They've won 4 series in a row. They've won 4 or 5 games in a row coming into today. They are, since the start of the year, number 2 in runs scored in the American League, number 6 in all of baseball.
One of the worst bullpens. Gotta be.
Well, this is why they're 500. But they can score. I mean, watching a Twins game, surprisingly, with the lineup of Byron Buxton, who's hurt, and
it's just will they hang on to the league? It's kind of fun. Like they get up like 4 or 5 runs. You're like, can they hang on to this?
Yeah, it's like watching some Vikings teams of the 80s and 90s where they're a scoring explosion with no defense, and you're going to win or lose a shootout.
Oh, the Canaries have had some of those too.
Always, the Canaries have always had those.
How many of the parallels are?
Well, I would think that's. I don't know if that's more fun baseball to watch. I would think that's more fun baseball to watch.
I think
would you rather have a great pitching team? I mean,
I like a pitching duel.
To win games, you'd rather have a team that has top-notch pitching, and if you have suspect hitting, you live with it.
I like a 5-4 game. You know what I mean? That's where a little bit of both, right? A little bit of offense, and then maybe your pitching locks in. That's the kind of baseball I like.
But I think this isn't just an eye roll for the Twins right now. There's reasons to believe they're going to have a July surge. For one, their next trip before the All-Star break is against the Angels. That's the worst team in baseball. I don't know if that's home or away. Cordell could look that up. But they're playing the worst team in baseball. They should win that series. They win another series. That's at home. They really should win it this weekend. Byron Buxton's been hurt, and it's not quite clear how long he's going to be out. But he's not missing any games for about 5 days. You got the All-Star break. I think if Cordell's got the schedule, I think their next game after Sunday is Friday.
Do they have any All-Stars?
So,
Cordell? Next game's Friday. I want you to check Twins All-Stars now.
Well, Buxton, and he's not going to play.
Just Buxton.
I think so. Certainly not anywhere from the pitching staff.
Yeah. I think the Padres only have
Mason
Miller.
But
Miller
they have second best offense in the American League, 6th best in baseball. And
Joe
Ryan.
Of
Okay. Well, that's an interesting piece as we get closer to the trade deadline, because that's where conversations should flow this time of year. The Twins are set up the way they are trending offensively. And their starting rotation. The bullpen might suck. Their starting rotation since June 1st, 11th best ERA in all of baseball. That's top half. That's almost top third. That's pretty good. So if they keep trending that way, it comes down to most nights if the bullpen is going to blow it or not. But Buxton's going to be back. At some point, Jeffers is going to be back. But the catcher they've had the last Cataloni. God, we're showing that we need a little brush up on our Twins here.
Well,
but they've had a good catcher filling in for Jeffers, and this Roden kid might turn into something. Luke Keyshaw had a sac fly last night, slowly but surely coming along. I don't want to sound like a total Twins rube here. I understand they have no chance to win the World Series if they made the playoffs.
Hey,
Yeah. Major League is my favorite sports movie.
Come on, John. Have a little. Are you like genuinely a Twins fan? I don't think we've ever even.
I am when they're good.
Yeah. You just kind of
I get on the bandwagon.
Yeah.
Kind
of how I'm with the Royals.
Well, this job, hosting a sports talk show in South Dakota in Sioux Falls, is a lot more fun when the Twins are good. If they can stay relevant through July and August, we'll talk about them more because more people are paying attention because they're worth a shit. Well, they have a chance to be worth a shit.
I think sweeping the Yankees has a lot of them pretty excited.
You got the Angels coming up. The schedule bears out. Buxton comes back. Jeffers comes back. And then you go to Chicago. That's going to be tough. But then you go to Cleveland. That's going to be
White Sox or
tough.
Cubs?
Cubs. They're going to Wrigley after the All-Star break.
I mean, the White Sox, though, have been...
Then you got the A's who are lousy, the Royals who are bad, back-to-back at home, and then you go to Seattle, a meh team that you should at least win 1 out of 3 from. So the schedule, all the way up until the trade deadline, that's their schedule. They're trending well. For now, the front office just waits and sees. We know how the ownership has been feeling lately about buying or selling or doing anything.
They won't do anything.
But the Twins are giving, fans a reason to it. I don't know. Pay attention at least this month, yes.
We got France and Morocco starting here, too.
Yeah.
I don't know. I know people are checked out of World Cup stuff right now, but these quarterfinal games, I mean, wow. It's going to be good stuff.
Go ahead. I'll let you go on this.
I just think they're all set up really well. I mean, this is the first one here today. I think they're all good.
Got France and Morocco. I mean, France is the favorite to win this whole thing, right?
Yeah, France is probably the favorite.
Minus 400. Okay. What's the next best? minus 400 to win today.
Spain's probably up there.
You have France and Morocco, then you have Spain and Belgium tomorrow, and then the winner of those two play each other in one semifinal.
Yep.
Norway and England on Saturday at 4.
That's going to be a fun one.
Man, the Gronk of soccer.
Yeah, man. Erling Haaland.
Oh, my God. He is... Spain 360.
Yeah,
Argentina 450. England 4. Those are the top 3.
And Argentina,
So
Switzerland.
France is number 1, right? Okay,
So it's
180.
Argentina, Switzerland's the last quarterfinal game, correct?
Yeah, Saturday night. So
These are all good games.
feels
Come on,
like NFL
guys.
playoffs. Saturday you got the late afternoon game, Norway, England, Harry Kane and the Gronk, and then Argentina, Switzerland is the late game. Yeah, and this is still the place to watch it.
Yeah.
They're probably not going to have,
They won't have a
hundreds
watch
of
party,
people
yeah.
here like the American watch parties, but this is still the official place of the American Outlaws.
Yep.
So if you're still really into this World Cup thing, you need a great bar with great food that are definitely going to have the games with the sound on. I mean, this is a perfect. They're not. I guarantee you, not all the sports bars that have sports in their name in town are going to have sound of these World Cup.
Look at these big ass JBLs up here too. I mean, they got it. You can hear it. You can probably hear it through this right now.
Games on, but they will hear at Craven. So if you're really into it, you can't go wrong here at Craven for these last 7 World Cup games.
That's right.
So that's it. Too bad about the Americans, but I think enough oxygen has been wasted.
Yeah.
On the breakdown of the.
I kind of got.
Pretty simple. Belgium's a lot better.
They
They're still a
scored
lot
that
better.
third goal, and I kind of resigned myself at the end of it. I was like,
sure.
whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever. I'm used to this.
Yeah. I could. Well, I asked Zimmer. I'll ask you. I compare the USA soccer team to the Vikings. Anytime the Vikings get kind of good and reach the playoffs, hear me out. Good regular season, show some signs of promise, run into a team that's definitely better than them, and then just get de-pantsed.
Yeah.
De-pantsed, okay? Like 2017 NFC Championship against the Eagles. 2000 NFC Championship, 41 donut Giants. After the Kirk Cousins in New Orleans, Kirk Cousins to Kyle Rudolph in New Orleans, they go out to get hammered by the Niners, 31-7. They get destroyed by the Rams after winning 14 games a couple years ago.
That's a pretty good comparison. I was kind of likening it to Cowboys fans as far as U.S. national team people getting excited about it, having really high expectations, because that's how it works for Cowboys fans, right?
Yeah.
You know, they start to believe, and I think belief is the worst thing that they can possibly do.
Belgium's better. They're just better at soccer. Europe's better at soccer than we are here. We're trying to narrow the gap, but we have not yet, clearly.
Yeah.
That's it. You can beat a bunch of other teams. You can't beat the European teams yet. It would help if Christian Pulisic, somebody donated him a pair of testicles. Yes? No?
Yeah.
All right.
He went silent in the biggest moment, man.
Thank you, Trent.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Cordell Wright, our video producer, Jackson Renshaw, and the fine folks here at Craven. Have an awesome weekend. Have an awesome couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Off.
Be back here in a few weeks.
Hope I find pictures of you on your jet ski.
Yeah, my jet ski.
Cheers.